I have been a part of this eBay community for the last 5 years, and I reckon if I sat back to think about one of the biggest frustrations that a lot of eBay sellers have on the platform, it is the costs of postage. It's also how to actually go about doing the postage. But if we're just to speak around the postage costs and why that's such a concern for sellers, I actually think it's because people are trying to sell with a low average sale price. If you could be bumping up that average sale price to $50, $60, $70, you're not really going to be concerned as much about the increase of a postage charge. Let's give you one example here. We've got a $10 sale, let's say a $20 sale, and $10 of that is postage. So that's actually 50% of the sale price is the postage element. We need to put it in a small pad of mailer and it might cost us $10. By trying to sell that product for 20 bucks, we leave very little room for profit. Yet more often than not, we're not aware of our numbers as an eBay seller. We see that large discrepant postage charge and we get really frustrated and we kind of give up on eBay altogether. Whereby if we shifted our approach and mindset to our sales and we thought of trying to sell high average sale price products, if you had that same postage cost example with a $100 average sale price, we're now only talking 10% of the total cost of the sale for shipping. Now that's much more of a stress-free situation to be in when you're only dealing with that postage charge being a small 10% of the overall situation. Certainly much better than the 50% situation when we're selling $20 products. So look, for me, I've learned this and I've been dealing with this over the last few years and I've managed it really quite well. Where 2 years ago, we were selling at a $32 average sale price. This month and this year in 2025, we're now selling at a $77 average sale price. Our profit is still there because we're able to make more money on every single sale that we're getting, but we're not really too stressed about our postage situation because it's just a small percentage of the overall situation. So I really wanted to highlight that in this video today. The postage departments are always going to be increasing their costs, but what we need to do is be smart about it, do something about it, and the best way to do that is to increase that average sale price on the items that we have go on to sell. So in this video today, I'm actually going to walk you through the 25 sales that we had come through from over the weekend. We're averaging that nice and high $77 sale price. So let's break it all down now. Hopefully you get some value out of this one. But before we do that, I want to show you guys the whiteboard, but show you where our sales numbers are at. We've done really, really well. We've got $8,333 as our goal. We try to attack that every single month to get $100,000 in revenue over the course of 12 months, over the course of the year. Now, that's obviously not profit in your pocket. We speak very heavily about profit on this channel, Flipped It, but that's a revenue target that ends up netting us about $30,000 to $40,000 of true profit. So out of that, we're currently right now sitting on $5,683 in revenue. So we're almost like 65, 70% towards our goal. And we're only 33% of the way through the month. So 11 days in, we're sitting very, very pretty. Our numbers right now are averaging a $77 sale price, which is awesome. We always try to do over $50 and we're averaging 77. So that's a brilliant indicator to know that your sales are in high demand. If you have a higher average sale price, sell-through rate, generally speaking, is quicker. We've also got a goal here of $277 worth of daily sales. That's basically just averaging 8,333 divided by 31. 277 becomes our daily goal. So I do like to break down the monthly into a daily target. We're actually currently getting $516 in sales every single day. So the reason I'm turning this video on and I'm talking to you guys about our sales from over the weekend is because on Friday we did 495, we did 524 on Saturday, and yesterday we did $640, and we were in Melbourne. So that was awesome to see come through, albeit we are very, very hectic right now because we need to get to the post office by 5 o'clock. And we've just come back from Melbourne. We had a weekend there, went to the footy, which was epic, albeit very, very cold. And then we went to the markets as well, which we might be putting up on the Aussie Flipper page as well. We went to the flea market in Melbourne. We actually went to two, and I filmed all of it. So that'll be coming out on the Aussie Flipper page pretty soon. But 25 sales is what we're wanting to take you through from this weekend. And we're going to do it from the lowest price all the way up to the most expensive price. So we've got a lot to do before 5 o'clock. So let's get into it. So I'm going to kick it off here from the cheapest one that we've got to talk about in this video. This is V8 Supercars, a very much standard winner of the video games that we go on to sell quite regularly. V8 Supercars number 3, which I think is actually the best of the series. V8 Supercars number 2 and number 3, I think this one comps for the most amount of money. We've got a $29.95 sale price, I believe, for that one there. So that will be going into one of these, our medium track post envelopes. These are now $7.50, Kate. That's brutal, isn't it? $7.50. I remember when they were $5.80. Wow. Even with the Australia Post My Post business, you're still paying $7.50. Now, you might ask, well, why don't you put it in a stickered, non-tracked envelope? But I always like to have the tracking because eBay likes you to have the tracking, and therefore I've kind of pivoted away from going and selling DVDs and video games that are super cheap. So these ones here are going for $30, justifies the $7.50 in postage. But if you're selling a game for like $12, and then you're going to go and put it into a $7.50 envelope, you just wouldn't do it, right? So we won't have a look at the profit on that, but $29, $7.50, we're only making about $10 odd in profit because we buy these no more than about $3 or $4 whenever we get them in big hauls, usually speaking. So we might have made ourselves about $10 on that one there. Bit of a bread and butter one to kick it off, but they're only going to get better from here. We're actually going to have to do something about this wall of video games, aren't we? Because it's pretty much our best-selling category, and we have only got this little shelf space for video games in this garage. So what that means is all of these video games that we're yet to process, that we picked up, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday last week? Yeah. Thursday last week, just before we went off to Melbourne, we had all of these video games come in. That's on the Aussie Flipper channel. You can go and check it out. We spent $4,500. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. So we're going to have to look at rearranging what we do with our video games. And I think it might have to go onto that bookshelf, to be fair. I think we're going to create a massive bookshelf full of video games, and then potentially all of this will be video games too. So we'll have to see how we go with that. Gran Turismo, another classic on the PlayStation 1. That one there sold for $34.95, which I think is quite a competitive price. If you're new to selling on eBay, really getting that price point correct is going to massively impact your sell-through rate of how quickly it turns over. So at a $34.95 sale price, we got a faster sale than if we hung around for $40, $45, $50. I think it even went on a best offer as well. We might have listed it for $40 and took a $35 best offer. So at the end of the day, you've got to accept that. That's a massive part of eBay, is doing the negotiations and pricing yourself in a position right off the get-go to be competitive, because they'll turn over faster. Throw the camera over these, Kate. We have a lot of Pokemon cards right here, guys. So we've got the base, the fossil, the base set 2, and
Jungle.
And the jungle. Yeah, the jungle. So we've actually got every single card except for the base set Charizard. And they've been selling like hotcakes. We don't have them all now because they are constantly leaving the house. And we basically, Kate spent the majority of last week listing up all of these Pokemon cards, and we still have quite a few Pokemon cards to list up. But all of the holos out of the base set 2, the jungle and the fossil, they are now up on the House of Mumba. So if you want to go and check out that eBay page, our eBay page, or even hit us up on Instagram if you see something you like, we can give you 15% worth of discount. We did sell the Zapdos though. There it is right there. The Zapdos has come through for a really good sale. That was the fossil edition of the Zapdos. We've got a $55 sale price on that one there. Now, Pokemon cards, it's a huge market. I reckon you should be spending some time to get to know the Pokemon market, because it is only going to go up from here, in my personal opinion. So I'm going to go pretty hard on getting more of these things, just seeing the sell-through rate come through on them. We had an offer today for a base set 2 Charizard for $420, and we turned it down. We're going to push to try and get $480 to $500 because it's in really good condition. So condition is really, really important. You also want to be making sure you're using your penny sleeves and your top loaders when you're going to try and ship these off. The Zapdos on Flipped It, I think we were pretty decent on this because we were attributing about a $10 charge for the individual card. So Zapdos, we made $29. We bought it for $55. We've shipped it off for $7.50. We'll be putting it into a medium tracked post envelope. We made $29.06 on that Zapdos out of a massive haul that I think overall we paid about $3,500 for. So that goes back to the concept that we always talk about: pay up for items because they're going to turn over really nice and fast for you. So super important. Nice one out of the Zapdos. There's a few Pokemon cards to talk about. Loving the niching down approach as well to our eBay business over the last couple of months. We've really heavily focused on just buying video games. Pokemon cards has been pretty heavy, kind of come out of nowhere. We've just had a lot of opportunities for Pokemon cards within the community, so we've just gone ahead and taken up that opportunity. But DVDs have kind of slowed up in our sourcing. That's more just because we haven't come across as many, at least from a complete series set perspective. But I would now say that we've really kind of dialed in on video games, DVDs, and Pokemon cards. This one here, Point Blank, I think that was a $60 sale, $59.95, and that even does have a cracked PS1 case as well. So don't be afraid when you've got bad condition cases like this, because you just need to take photos to show it. And then from there, they can go ahead and get a brand new PS1 case pretty easily at a minimal cost. As long as you've got your things like your manual. This one doesn't have its artwork, but we would have shown that in the photos. And the disc condition was obviously the most important thing. And this was in a really, really good condition disc, which helped the sale. Now, with these PlayStation 1s, because they are so easily breakable, we do put them into small boxes. So Kate is going to be putting up one of these sort of boxes, I would imagine. Maybe that's a bit too big, but we should have a box, maybe even cutting it down with a bit of arts and crafts, maybe down a quarter of this box width. Butcher's paper, bubble wrap into a box, $8.92 if you're on the Australia Post Band 5 discount. Point Blank, that was an individual sale. We were able to get, where is it? We made $39.80 selling that for $60. So $59.95 sale price, $10 in fees, $10 in shipping, made ourselves a $39.80 profit. So that is incredible. Going to mix it up with something a little bit different now. We were at the flea market about a month ago and we bought a bunch of Geelong Cats vintage merchandise. We had a bag that I heavily undersold. That sold in about a minute on eBay for $100 and I should have sold it for $200 to $250, so that was a massive blunder. There wasn't any comps on eBay to go by, so that's why I didn't know what to price it for. And then I put a stab in the dark at $100 and I heavily shot myself in the foot. So it's always tricky with those one-off items when you don't have your comps to go by. It can go one of two ways. It either sells quick or it never sells because you were priced up way too high. But at the end of the day, that was a sale and so was this. This one actually ended up selling for about $60. So a $60 sale price on a vintage Cats, a true vintage. You can tell by the tag that is a very old school sort of a tag. They don't make them like that anymore. So to get $60 on that, I think we're going to go ahead and put it into a box, which will cost us $8.92. We made $20. We made $20. The cost of goods, actually I counted $20 worth of cost of goods on this at the flea market, because I think I counted the duffel bag that we bought for $50. I did pay quite a lot to get my hands on this because I knew it would turn around fast. And it is actually the last of that haul. So within a month, that's all turned around for us and we're now heavily in the profit on the overall deal. But I did account $20 for that. So Flipped It is telling me that the Geelong Cats, where was it? There it is there. So 60 with 20, 19 in fees. We made $20.88 on that one there. The Aussie Flipper, 50,000 subscribers. So if you're randomly finding this channel and you don't know who we are, we have a 50,000 subscriber channel and Kate got me some balloons to say congratulations. Very thoughtful of her. Wigglytuff and Victory Bell, yeah. Wigglytuff and Victory Bell, there they are. So some pretty decent condition cards, these ones. We put them down as lightly played. LP is the terminology when you're listing up your cards. You've got many different grading versions before they go away and get graded by grading companies. You've got to kind of self-assess your cards and give them a deem, whether it's a moderately played, a heavily played, or a lightly played, or a near mint is the terminologies that we go by. We classed all of these as lightly played, so we could price up slightly higher in the comps. I think we overall got, I think it was like a 35 and a 50 on these two. I think we got about $85 worth of collective revenue. This is all going off to the one buyer. So the beauty of this is that we do save on postage. We're going to send this off in, well, I would probably say a medium track post envelope. Put a bit of cardboard either side to stop the bending from taking place. But that'll be nice and easy in a $7.50 envelope. $85 sale price, $7.50 worth of postage. The fees on 85 is going to be somewhere around, I would say about $12 odd. So that turns us into about a $60 profit. Take off cost of goods, we're talking about $40. $40 made on these two individual Pokemon cards and yet we have so many more to try and sell. So you can see if you're making about 20 bucks a card, there's a lot of money in those things. So really, really exciting to have all of this Pokemon in the house, plus a bunch of video games as well. So I envisage all of these sales kind of just continuing on for the months to come. The second you get a great quality product in a haul, you can count yourself for sales for the next couple of weeks, basically. So it's all about the quality of the product that you buy. Speaking of multi-purchase Pokemon cards, our next order is exactly that. Let's put them on the table here. Have a look at these. So we've got Mr. Mime, we've got Magneton, we've got Flareon, we've got Hitmonlee. Zoom in on this, Kate. We've got Kabutops, and we've got Hypno right there. So they were really, really cool cards. We're talking each set as well. Like we've got Fossil set, which is this one right here, the little Fossil logo, and then we've got some Jungle cards, which is this one right here, the Jungle cards. So all 6 cards in LP condition. We had a total sale price. I think it was do you remember how much all that sold for? $130 odd, something like that. Yeah. No, maybe more. It's gotta be more. Yeah, we did a hell of a lot more. This was a massive purchase. So we sold 60 plus 44 is 104, plus 70 is 174, plus 75 is say 250, plus 40 is 290, plus the Flareon at 84, $375. $375 right there. And our profit count on each one is 9, 61, 25, 56, 49, 27, and 40 is how much money we've made on each individual card in profit. So you could account for maybe $250 worth of profit out of that 750 worth of, or 375 worth of sale price. It really was a multi-quantity order weekend because here's the next set. We've got, and I'll put them on the table for you guys. We've got Gran Turismo number 2. We have Mayhem on the PlayStation 1. They're all PlayStation 1 games. Colin McRae Rally number 2. The best thing about this one was, there it is there, Midnight in Vegas. I'll keep putting them out here. Tekken number 2 is a disc and manual only. And then the last one we had was Star Wars Demolition there as well. So the other 6 games, all on the PlayStation 1. We had a buyer just sweep through the store and they took all of these at an average buy price of about $20, which was so cool to see because they're like the bare minimum of the listing price individually for us, but to have them all go to one buyer, we now only have to pay at most $10 to $12 worth of postage, where before it would have been a really kind of crappy profit situation. When you sell them for $20, you take $8.92 off in postage. How are you going to make any decent amount of money? So I'm almost half tempted to bump my minimum listing value up to $25, just because the numbers don't work out too great, anything under that. So that's why when he was buying all of these low ticketed games at $20 to $25 a piece, I was wrapped because it means that we're going to make more profit on the deal overall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got about I think it was $134 from memory. $134 in sales. On Flipped It, we're talking a heavy amount of profit on that one there as well because they're going into a $10 to $12 postage situation. So with fees at about $16, $17, $12, that's only $30 off. Cost of good on that is $3 each at $18. We're making $72 in that profit. $72 in profit, which wouldn't have been the case if they all sold individually. This one isn't out of that haul that we did for $3.5 grand. This was actually from a while back, but it was a consignment with Bree, who is a viewer of the channel. It's a partial set. I actually don't know which Pokemon set it is, but you can see it's out of 182. So, I mean, the title and all the details that you need for that was in the listing. We got the listing correct, but that one there, yeah, partial set. Don't know exactly how many it was out of a partial set, but we got a $90 sale price on that binder. So it was really nice to see. I don't know what a complete set goes for, but a $90 sale price is still a fantastic sale price. We're doing it on commission. Consignment. So the commission split is 50-50. But yeah, $90. I'm happy to do consignment for any item over $50 because when you're breaking it out on commission 50-50, you're not making yourself a lot of money if the item is being sold for less than $50. So if you're out there looking to try and take people's items without actually buying it and saying that you're going to go on to sell it for them and then split it, when you actually look at the numbers of the breakdown of Flipped It, showing you the minusing in postage, the minusing in fees, you would want to be making sure the item is worth, geez, I'd even say $100 because at 90, that's almost a number that I'm happy to accept, where we're only going to make about $25 each. And that's enough for me at $25 to go on and sell it for them. So just be aware of that. It was boosted as well by having this little V-Union Pikachu set go on to sell. That was a complete sort of promo set out of a pack of cards from back in the day. A couple of years ago, that one. I think it's a fairly modern set of Pikachu V-Union. Don't know what the date on it is, but that went along with the binder. So that'll all get sent off for about, again, $8.92, but over $100 worth of collective value to the one buyer. So if you can ever get these multi-quantity sales, it's going to help your profit massively. You can do certain things on eBay, like you can do a buy one, get one, 10% off type situation where no matter what products they buy within your store, they'll get further discount the more percentage, or more of a percentage discount the more they buy. So there's a few ways of doing it. I don't do anything. I'm just happy when they come through like that. And fortunately this weekend, there was a lot that came through. Another video game here, Pokemon Platinum version on the Nintendo DS. This is such a big ticket game, guys. Pokemon is it's insane how many sales we get in the Pokemon niche. $170 is what this thing has gone on to sell for. Now, I do want to say you can kind of get away with sending these Pokemon games on the Nintendo, or any Nintendo DS game, in the even smaller. They're a small sized tracked envelope. So they are a little bit less in size, and you can save yourself a couple of dollars. We've got a couple of these on hand because, as you can see here, the medium and the small, there's a big difference in size there. The only issue is that on here, it says that you've only got a 5mm thickness, where you've got a 20mm thickness for the mediums. So you can't go ahead and put too much more in those small envelopes apart from something like that, because it is so thin and it fits that 5mm sort of a requirement. But $170 on that. We're going to go ahead and put it into that, which will cost us no more than about, I don't know, $5 or $6. And we sold it. I bought it for $75 off Facebook Marketplace. $35 was the collective cost in fees, and we're still able to profit $59.27. Wow. So we've still got $60. You buy it for $75 off Marketplace. It puts an extra $60 in your pocket. Remember, you get that $75 back. So it's your money back plus an extra $60 to go again and buy some more stuff. So sell-through rate on that, I reckon I bought it about 6 weeks ago. To sell it for $170, I think it was pretty much right bang in the middle of solds on eBay, which is where I try to sit on the pricing front. I try to look at the highest and the lowest, and we try to go somewhere dead in the middle to be competitive, and we often are. But sometimes, even being in the middle, items sit. And this was our best sale of the weekend, but it wasn't our best profit, which tells you a story. We've got Game of Thrones here, the complete edition. This is the 4K Ultra HD that I bought from JB Hi-Fi in a buy one, get one half price deal. So I actually ended up paying $150 for this Blu-ray set when I was out at JB about, I don't know, I made a video on it on the Aussie Flipper channel. I think it would have been about 2 months ago now, potentially. But the numbers on this one was an interesting one because, like I said, it sold for $220. I bought it for $150. Shipping and fees are $48.39. I've actually only made $21.61. I paid $150 and I only made $21. Reason being is they sat around. I've actually got
3 more.
Yeah, I have 3 more in there. So I bought 4 of them all up. Spent $600. And it looks like that $600 spend, if I keep it at this best offer acceptance price, we're looking at about $80 worth of profit. So I had it priced up initially at about $300, and I took this as a best offer of $220. So when people flash really nice high percentages and show really nice high sales numbers on Instagram or YouTube, a $220 sale has made me $21 in profit. And that's why the use of Flipped It is so important, because you need to know how much money you're actually making. $21.61 there. It's not much, but at least it's another item out the door. So we're going to get stuck into the post and hopefully get it out the door by 5 o'clock. If you missed this video right here, guys, I'll leave you with it. But thanks very much for tuning into this one. Think smarter about that product you choose to list up to eBay, and we'll see you over there for that one.